All right, time to dive in, and let me tell you, your notes for this deep dive have me pumped. Emotional resilience. I mean, who couldn't use a little more of that, right?
It's definitely a popular one, and for good reason. But you're not just here for the surface level stuff, are you?
Not even close. We're going deep, deep, deep. Our amazing listener, and that's you. By the way, they're not just interested in theory. They want practical tips, strategies they can use right now to navigate those curveballs life throws our way. And let me tell you, their notes are full of real, relatable challenges they're facing.
Well, first off, congrats to our listener for recognizing that this isn't about some magical overnight transformation, right? It's about building skills, and that takes effort, which is awesome. And you're spot on. They're specifically looking for that balance of grace and strength, which I think is such a powerful way to frame it.
Totally. It's like, remember that saying, the oak fought the wind and was broken, the willow bent when it must and survived? I might be butchering it, but you get the idea. It's about weathering the storm, not letting it break us. But where do we even begin with building that kind of resilience?
Well, if we're really going to break it down, I think it starts with a mental shift. See, your notes mention struggling with setbacks, right? Feeling like there's some sign you've messed up. But what if we hit the reset button on that whole thought process? What if instead of that whole why me thing, it becomes, okay, what can I learn from this?
Okay, so it's like changing the script in our heads, not letting those negative thoughts run wild. Easier said than done, though, am I right?
100%. And that's where self-compassion comes in clutch. And this is something you were really drawn to, and I can see why that whole idea of mindfulness. It can be a game changer when you feel those emotions bubbling up.
Oh, tell me more, tell me more.
So it's like, imagine you're a scientist, right? And your emotions, they're just data. You observe them, you acknowledge them, but you don't judge them.
Ooh, I like that. So instead of drowning in those feelings of stress or anxiety or beating ourselves up for having them in the first place, we say, hey, I see you.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that, hey, you're human, and these emotions, they're just part of the deal. But you know what else can make a huge difference?
Let me guess. Let me guess. Support systems. Because let's be real, we can't always do this alone. Am I right?
They're reading my mind. Surrounding yourself with those positive, encouraging people, it's like having your own personal cheer squad, you know? They can give you that strength and perspective when you need it most.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders in your corner reminding you of how strong you are. That's right. But even with the best support system in the world, there are still going to be times when we feel totally overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
And that's where I think that idea of focusing on what we can control comes in.
Yes. And this is where you really nailed it with those notes. You can't control everything, that's life, but you can control how you respond. And you even jotted down a killer technique for this, breaking down those big, scary challenges into smaller, more manageable steps. Love that.
Because honestly, sometimes those smaller steps are all we can handle, and that's okay. But what about after the dust settles? After we've faced down a challenge, whether we won or lost, your notes also talk about learning from adversity. And I'm really curious about this one.
This is huge, and it's where reflection comes in. And I love that you specifically called out journaling as a helpful tool here. It's something you're already doing, which is fantastic.
Gotta jot it down.
Right, because it's about taking those experiences, even the tough ones, and squeezing every drop of wisdom out of them.
Turning those failures into lessons learned.
Yes. It's about asking yourself those tough questions. What worked well? What could I have done differently? What did this experience teach me about myself, about my strengths, about my weaknesses?
Turning those setbacks into opportunities for growth, for building that resilience muscle.
100%.
You know, as we're wrapping up here, it hits me that building emotional resilience, it's not a destination, right? It's a journey. It's something we keep working at.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's a lifelong journey. And like any journey, there are going to be detours, wrong turns, bumps in the road. That's just life. But with the tools and strategies you're already exploring, you're so well equipped to handle all of that, with grace and strength, of course.
So, to our amazing listener out there, as you keep exploring these ideas, think about what resonates most with you right now. Maybe it's that self-compassion practice, building that unshakable support system, or mastering that whole focus on what you can control thing. And remember, you got this. Like that willow tree, your strength is in your flexibility, your ability to bend without breaking.
Well said.
That's it for this deep dive. Until next time.